Today I'm doing a page for a retreat I'm going to, which is either or. So I'll go through it as we talk. I'm going to be using the masket with that stencil, this oxide ink, some stamps, twine, and I'm using this photograph of my son. So I'm going to cut that off. Off screen I've cut the leaves out of the masket and I've popped them onto the paper. So you can see here, because I want to have the clear backdrop of the leaves. So you'll see what I'm doing in a second. I will release one of them and put it up to the top because I wanted one up in the top corner. So watch this. So there you go. You can see that you've got a good outline of the leaf there. Just working out where I'm going to put the photograph and think actually that one needs to be moved. So the either or challenge is a case of you create a layout using one of each of the things. So I had cardstock or patterned paper, so I'm using cardstock. Flowers or leaves, so I'm using leaves. Heart or stars. Polka dots or stripes. Ribbon or twine. Stamps or stencils. And paint or ink. So I've used my cardstock, I've used a leaf, and I'm using ink. I will be adding some stars. I was going to go for stripes, but you'll see me change my mind when I get something else out and realise there's polka dots on it. So now I am just using some Shimmer's Peacock Plume, and that is just to give it a little bit of a glittery texture to the paper, and just give it a little hint of sparkle. So I'm just adding a little bit more, watering it down and using the package technique just to apply that around. And now I'm going to dab off any excess water to create like little water droplets, which you'll be able to see in the photograph at the end of the video. So now I'm going to take off the leaves to reveal my pattern. And I quite like that. Dry it off, which also helps set the Distress Oxide so that it doesn't wipe off anymore. And you also can't then splatter it again. It doesn't work properly if you try to. Now I'm using a Distress Ink Weathered Wood and this wording stamp just to add a little bit more texture and interest behind where my photographs are going to go and on the layout. So I'm just ticking off here the things that I have actually used so that I keep track. I have a habit of, if I don't keep it there, I'll forget and I'll finish the layout, be really, really happy with it. And you can see there I just crossed off the stripes and circled polka dots because there are polka dots on the frame that I've just put down. Not really sure at the moment what I want to do with the thread, so just cut some and popped it there. I'm writing the date. Now you're aware that I'm not supposed to be using photographs of my children, or at least my son, in my videos, but I thought as this was 2007, he wouldn't mind. Now I'm just getting out some Bramble Fox perspectives. I've got a title and these stars, but the rest of the stars, the colours didn't really go, so I've decided to grab some wooden stars out of my box. I like wooden embellishments, so I do have a number of these boxes with all sorts of embellishments that I've picked up over the years. So I'm only going to be using the title from Bramble Fox, and now I'm thinking, oh, this is a picture of my son coming down a slide in Dublin, and so that's why I thought I would twirl the twine just so it looks like you know, going round and round on a slide. Just pulled out my blue scrap paper because I think I might put a little bit of blue paper behind this picture just to lift it up a little bit, put a lighter colour underneath it, and then I'm not really sure how much journaling I want to do at this stage, so I am going to raise this photograph up with foam pads, and just in case I want to tuck some journaling in behind. I haven't really thought about what I want to say about this photograph. I just really, really love it. Just a cheeky smile when he came down the slide, and he's holding a teddy bear that was a mascot for the school that he was going to at the time. So the mascot used to go with the children on holiday. So he was with us this time. I'm using my glue here to stick down the twine now. I like to use, it's just a clear matte glue, so it doesn't leave anything behind, but I like to use it in this bottle because it's got such a fine point that you can pretty much do anything with it and put it anywhere. So you can, if something's not sticking properly, you can stick it behind an item to squeeze a little bit of glue in, and it's perfect for doing fiddly little things like these. The strings, trying to stick it down on paper can absolutely be a nightmare. And so here I am just putting some tape on this foam pad. This is just the kids funky foam that I'm using here, rather than, sometimes I use paper, the offcuts, like you can see the offcut in the top right hand corner from the paper pad. I will sometimes use that and fold it up and stick it down behind the photograph, just so I'm not wasting any of the paper. But on this occasion I thought I'd use a little bit of foam pad, and yes, so I'm sort of lifting up that photograph, as I said, so I can put some journaling behind it if I choose to. So just sticking down the page here, and we're almost finished. It's not a very long video this time, and you know, I like the page, but it's not a difficult page to do. It's a lot of fun. I wanted to try the Masket out. I haven't used it in a long time, and it's just a fun, interesting technique. It makes the leaves stand out, because I was looking at the either or and thinking, don't really want to use flowers, not with this picture anyway, but I don't always like using leaves without flowers, so just a quirk of mine, I guess. So I'm just scattering those around, thinking about where I'm going to stick them, peeling off the backing from the perspective, and I'm going to come in here now with the glossy accents to stick those all down. My glossy accents is pretty much at the end of its life now, so you'll see me sort of fighting with it to get a little bit out and squeezing it. I meant to get some when I was down at Hobbycraft, but I couldn't see any, so I'm definitely going to have to get some before I go off to retreat, as I'm going to be a little bit stuck. Pardon the pun. Definitely was not intended. So the page doesn't really need very much else. I found this little camera and also this bag of Spiegel Mum's sequins. These ones are exclusively designed for Thompson's Crafts, so I got them from Thompson's Crafts when she visited one of my crops that I do. And as I say, this page is for a challenge for a retreat I'm at next week. So I will be recording my video early this week and scheduling it to upload. So fingers crossed that all works fine. Pretty much at the end of the video now, just have to pop the last thing, which as we know is my cat. So the cat's going into place, and I have some stills for you to have a look at the end here. Just think, one last thing that I wanted to do is I've just grabbed a pencil and I'm just doing a line all the way round. Doesn't detract from the page, but it just needed a little bit something to sort of hold everything together. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.